College football playoffs, round one, are here. We're going to preview Tennessee versus Ohio State with Tennessee Tony, great return guest. Big question is, if Ryan Day loses, will he get fired and leave Ohio State? That is the question. Also, talk about some Georgia transfer portal news. And the big question, would Georgia rather play Notre Dame or Indiana in the Sugar Bowl January 1st? We'll talk about all that. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, share the podcast. That really helps out. One of the playoffs are upon us. College football playoffs finally here. Got a great return guest. Tennessee Tony. Tennessee versus Ohio State. How are we doing today, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing? Good to be back on.
Thanks for coming on again. Got his all orange over there. First, Tennessee, Tony, you are going to the game. How's your seats looking? How about the weather? Are you excited about it?
Yeah, man. I actually, ended up buying tickets as soon as the college football playoff show came on. I had tick picks lined up with my seat. I had the hotel ready to book and everything, the flights. So as soon as they announced that I bought boom, because I figured tickets would go up. So a couple of days later, my buddy decided to go. So we ended up selling those tickets and buying some lower level tickets in the corner. And then we sold those again because we actually, we started out, the tickets that we originally bought were $325 for uppers. And we were high. We were only 4 rows from the top. And then the lower levels we bought for $275. And then the ones we just bought, which are on the 30 to 40 yard line, were 200 a piece. And then I heard today, listen to Tennessee Talk Show, they've gone down to $154 a ticket for lower levels.
I did hear this on Dawg Nation. They were saying that you guys are going to travel well. You think?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Herb Street came out. I love Herb Street, but he came out on, I don't know if it's a podcast or whatever. I read an article today, but he came out and said that, with 100,000 fans there, they'll be lucky to have 3% there, which is stating we're only going to have about 3,500, 4,500. I think really and truthfully, we're going to have about 10 to 15,000 fans. But like you hear some people saying it could be close to 25, 30,000. That would surprise me. But I do know there's going to be a lot of Tennessee fans, especially the cost of the tickets. If it would have been in Knoxville, you're looking at, $1,200 lower level tickets probably and $500 upper level tickets. Now you're getting lower level for $150, which opens the door for a lot more people to be able to travel to it.
Yeah, this is actually the game I'm excited for the most for this weekend. It is. Looks like it's what's the weather going to look like? Like just chilly in the 30s, which is good.
No, so yeah, I'm kind of excited about the weather. I got my layers. I'll have 4 layers or 5 layers on the top, and I'll have 3 on the bottom. But at kickoff, it's supposed to be 16 degrees at kickoff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So it's funny because a buddy of mine, he's an OSU fan, and he said he said he invites you to tailgate, and I said we need to bring some beer. We won't have a cooler. He said you're not going to need a cooler, bud. So.
That's funny. So looking at it. 7.5 point spread. Tennessee going on the road. Of course, everybody knows Ohio State coming off that terrible loss against Michigan, which I loved it. And Ryan Day, it could be on the hot seat, and you guys might get him fired. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, in the matchup, I know you guys healed up. I think I even read where Dylan Sampson said this is the healthiest I've been. How's all the injuries leading up to it? You guys were off around 3 weeks. Ohio State, of course, they were off, didn't play in Big Ten championship. So how's everything looking on Rocky Top health-wise?
Yeah, Dylan Sampson, I did read that article. He says healthy as Benny feels good. The moderators, they don't get to see practicing with the injury reports. The only one that I'm concerned with, well, actually 2 is receivers, being Thornton and then also Squirrel White. So those are 2. Squirrel White's been banged up all year, but both of our backup to the slot hit the portal. So we don't really. I don't think we have a third option or another option to put in the slot behind him. I don't know what they're going to do, but they've kind of kept quiet about it a lot. The injuries, how hard it is to figure it out. But the things that I read, offensive line were healthy, defense were healthy. Just missing the key injuries like Keenan Pili, which really hurt us, but he's been hurt. Most of the season, everything. So I think overall we'll be a healthy team going up there.
So, and that's the next question I have. Any like portal news that's been a distraction, or any like players that maybe were surprising? Everybody's kind of holding it together maybe till after the playoffs, or how's that looking?
So, it kind of shocks me a little bit, but I do understand it. I mean, our portal has been very, minimal. Getting into the portal. I don't know if they're focusing on the football, focusing on the game, which I mean should be, but they are. We've had, I think, 4 visitors from the portal and 1 committed today. Offensive lineman did, and then we have another offensive lineman from. Where's he from? He's from the Big Ten, Northwestern. That likes us a lot. So I know we're going after an offensive lineman. I think we'll go after receiver in the portal, but receivers hadn't panned out for us really. That we get for the portal for the most part. I mean, Brew's done okay, but I mean, Brew. I think he called 1 touchdown pass this year, if I'm not mistaken, and that was at the last game. Or may got called back, but I think the portal is, the key ones we need are going to be. Offensive line basically, and probably add another running back too, depending on what Dylan Sampson does, which he should go pro.
Yeah. Looking at the matchup, to me, Ohio State, of course, going into the year, $20 million NIL package they spent, and probably the most talented team on paper, but lost Oregon early in the year by 1, and then that bad performance against Michigan. How do you guys kind of match up with them? And to me, Will Howard's been a little bit of a step back. I mean, the Kyle McCord guy had a better year at Texas, so I look at Will Howard as being a Jag, just another dude. And they do have Junkins as a good running back, and that Smith is it.
They got so Junkins
usual.
Yeah, Junkins is the main running back, and then they have Henderson, the Trayvon Henderson. He's their second back. So I mean, that's a pretty good combo right there. I do think overall, I mean, no, not to you guys or anything, but I mean, it's the best roster I think that we played this year.
They are,
and I don't want Ryan Day to get fired. I like bad coaches to stay. I think he's for the talent. I think he's not a great coach. They do want him fired. My buddy that's OSU season ticket holder, he did say a lot of people he knows are waiting to go to Oregon to the Rose Bowl. There's a lot of people they think they're going to beat Tennessee and go, but they hate Ryan Day or dislike him. I don't like to use the word hate, but they very well they do hate the guy. So he said, man, if it starts bad, he said you'll start to hear the boos come out, which that'd be awesome in the playoffs. But I think that talent-wise is going to be the best we play. We got to play a complete game. Turnovers are going to be key in this game, I believe. And Tennessee is. We fumbled the ball. Dylan Sampson has been a little fumble prone. It's really the only bad things that some negatives he's had. And our wide receivers, man, we got to get some separation. I don't think we can't line up and beat them like we beat a lot of SEC teams running the ball. They got a lot of horses on there too. I think another important matchup is their offensive line versus their defensive line. I looked at PFF and how their line was rated the other day, because you always hear, and I watched Ohio State play. I watched Ohio State Michigan game, a few others, Ohio State, Oregon, but their line didn't look great, but the PFF has them graded out well. So I think that may be overblown a little bit, but it depends. Our defensive line, if what I'm worried about is the same game plan y'all use against us, tight ends. I mean, me and you talked after the game. Y'all's tight ends caught a ton of passes. Y'all had that game plan. I think that Boo Carter, who's our star cover spot, and our linebackers like Arian Carter, they're going to be so important, not only stopping the run, but also in pass coverage, like against y'all. And that's where we struggle at a lot. And so that concerns me. And we couldn't get any pressure on Beck, So if we can't get pressure on him, that's going to be a long day. I think it would be kind of a similar game to what y'all were to us, maybe a 10-point game. But if we can get some pressure and not turn the ball over, limit the penalties. Of course, I don't know if Josh Heupel can do that. Then I think you're looking at probably a 3 or 4 point game.
How's your how's their O line look compared to y'all's? Because y'all's D line was statistically great all year. And if you had to put maybe a disadvantage against Ohio State, what are you kind of worried about?
You mean a disadvantage of what I'm worried about with them?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're wide receivers for one.
They're supposed to be.
They got some dynamic wide receivers, and I'm not worried about our cornerbacks. We got Ricky Gibson, and then Jamad his transfer portal. So McCoy, that transfer from Oregon State last year, he's been the best transfer. I mean, he's great cornerback. So I think those guys are going to be fine. But I think that the secondary, the two safeties are going to give us some issues if they can get the matchups right on them. So that concerns me a lot.
And I think you guys finished off at the end of the year. A lot of people were saying upset alert, and you guys were down, 17-0 at Vanderbilt, who's a much improved, scrappy team. And you guys rallied and kind of put it on Vanderbilt. So I thought that was a good way to end it. And then you guys got 20 days to heal up. So I think you guys should be in a good spot.
Yeah, I just, and we did the thing about Vanderbilt. It's everybody always says, it's not your mom and daddy and grandma and grandpa's Vanderbilt. Yeah, but they're still not that great. I mean, they beat Alabama. I think they get a lot more credit from that. Alabama, to me, they're not a playoff team this year. They're not in the playoffs. Right. I know you and I talked about it too, but I think that, Vanderbilt is a good team. But the way we lined up, if you look at Ohio State, go back and watch them from the game film, they pinched the linebackers and everything in a lot. So if we can't run the ball laterally, so we're not going to line up and run the ball at the middle, and that's what concerns me about the offense against them. Also, the defense, if you look at our defense, since we lost Keaton Peely, I saw this stat the other day, we've allowed 2 more yards per rush since he's been gone. And that's big in some games. I think, and the reason why he was a run stopper in the middle, our linebackers, Arian Carter and the other crew behind them, they get out of position a lot. And if you do that, Judkins give him some lanes to run through the middle, that may be for a long night with the running game. If they start doing that, it's going to open up everything. So I am a little concerned about that.
Gotcha.
And we didn't have a sack against y'all. And this is going to be a team that compares the closest. I mean, maybe Alabama, but that was at home. But this is going to be the team that compares most of what y'all are. We didn't get close to Beck that night.
Yeah. What do you think with them? Because, man, they struggled mightily on offense. What do you think maybe you guys saw in the Michigan game? Because, I mean, Michigan, walk-on quarterback, just putrid offense, somehow found a way to beat them. What do you think Josh Heupel and the coaches learned from that game?
Well, I think a lot of that game boils down to Ohio State tried to run the ball. I mean, I think they only attempted 24 passes in that game. Yeah. So they tried to line up, and that's not their cup of tea. If they line up and if you look at them all year long, if they line up and try to just run the ball against us, it's not going to go well for them. Yeah. I think with Heupel's game plan, I think we need to, definitely. We're not a tempo team right now. I've started to say use tempo, but what we got to do when we go there, because it's going to be loud, it's going to be cold. I think we need to. I hope we do is not do the audibles as we've been doing. It seems like when we go up to line and we run a play, we do a lot better than we step back and Nico's looking to the sideline for 15, 20 seconds trying to get the call in. That's when our penalties start happening. And once that start happening, it's like we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We lose all momentum and everything. So I'm hoping to see Heupel goes up there, knowing the playoffs, knowing the crowd, and have more of maybe a simplified game plan, at least at first, maybe script the first X amount of plays to see how it goes. I do think you're going to see Dylan Sampson touch the ball 20, 25 times. Oh, yeah. I mean, that and probably, 4 or 5 catches. And then we got, the backside. I mean, we'll definitely be run heavy, but the only way we're going to beat him is if we can hit some deep balls. That's going to be the only way. And that does concern me.
Yeah. All right, Tony, what's your prediction? How you feeling? 7.5, Tennessee, first playoff game in the 12-team playoff. And I guess first playoff for you guys ever, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the closest we were is last time I was on the podcast with you a couple of years ago, back in 2022. Yeah, when we played y'all, I think we were number 1, y'all were number 2. We went to Athens and played when we got the cell phone number from Bennett, Sesson Bennett. But I think, honestly, I think it's going to be close. My heart's not going to let me pick against them in this game. I normally, if you look at what I post on Instagram all the time and kind of pick the story, I do I do try to pick with my head more, not my emotions, but this one I'm not going to allow myself to do that. So I'm going to call 23-20 Vols. I think, we get a late score, and then I think we get a stop on them.
Like it, man. Going with it. And you're diehard going to the game, which is impressive. So you're all in.
Yeah. I'm excited about that, man. We get down Friday. We'll be down in Columbus about 5:30 on Friday. So go out and watch a little bit of games. And then Saturday we got a good day planned. Going to places, we get TVs, some tailgates we got. We can watch some of the games. So I'm interested in seeing all those. I think a matchup I'm interested in, man, more than anything is Clemson and Texas, because I want to really see. I mean, that's the best the ACC has to offer against the best the SEC has to offer. Well, not I would say the best, but one of the best teams. Not y'all. What y'all did from the beginning of the year. I want to see if Texas does that, because that basically right there tells you ACC is garbage. Like if you look at it like that.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get your playoff picks on that. First off, I was gonna give my pick real quick. So I'm gonna go get Ryan Day fired. I think they're just not a well-coached team. They might have all the talent, and I think you guys have been scrappy and consistent. You got the D-line. You're going to get after Will Howard because he doesn't scare me. What they're missing is a quarterback like C.J. Stroud. They had that. They would be dangerous. They're missing that. They might even need to go to portal again. I like you guys covering. I'll take those 7 points. I like 28-24 late touchdown Dylan Sampson to win it. And Ryan Day might be packing his bags. And I don't know who they're going to get, but I'm here it. So I like the Suck Nuts losing 28-24 to the Vols.
I like it, man. I like it. I don't know if we'll get 28 points, though. We'll see. We only in big games, I think we only average like low 20s. Since Heisman's been there.
You guys, except for Vanderbilt and Georgia, you held everybody under 20. And
yeah.
I mean, they're talented, but they might get up for it, man. But I just think this is a wounded team, man. They got some issues.
No, I agree. And it's like, Ryan Day came out and said the other day, well, when they did the college football show, one thing I noticed is he was very he didn't seem happy, like he really wanted to be talking about it. It's like he wasn't there. And then he came the other day and said their goal every year, their goal is to make the playoffs. It's not something you want to hear from a Georgia or Ohio State even Tennessee, really, even though we're happy to be here. I mean, I was going to go like anybody's winning the national championship. We're not satisfied just going to the playoffs. Like some teams are, but definitely don't want to hear that from Ohio State's coach. So I'm sure that players, they're hitting that mentality. It sits in their heads a little bit different.
Oh, yeah, sure. Before we get to some of the college football first-round picks and more, appreciate great sponsor of the show, VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. 0 carbs, 0 sugar. My personal favorite is the watermelon for 20% off, Dawg House 20 for 20% off. Also great for the tailgate. I know that's winding down at the end of the year. And then also, hey, pick some up for holiday or Christmas. And it's a great present and beverage for round of golf. So check them out. Dawg House 20% off, and VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. They're also on Instagram and they're on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to them, so check that out. And then, Tony, I know you mentioned earlier, so what other game you're interested in? Maybe that Clemson and Texas game? Any other ones you think?
Yeah, the Clemson-Texas game probably interests me the most. I mean, I think Penn State's going to handle SMU. The Notre Dame game, I think, is going to be really I think they're going to smack Indiana. Mm-hmm. I don't think – I think – what's the spread on that game? I think it's 8.5, is it?
Yeah, let's click on that real quick. We got ESPN.
It may have gone down. I think it was at 8.5.
Yeah, I actually was looking at 7. That's interesting. And I think that's the only Friday night game, right?
Yeah, that's the only Friday night game, yeah. But
you got your bar picked out in Columbus you going to?
Yeah, we already got a list. I can't remember the name of it, but actually it's in my text message from one of my Ohio State fans. But we kind of got it mapped out. We're staying in a hotel. It's got a nice restaurant at the bottom, a nice bar. But Friday night, we'll definitely be out eating dinner and have some people to hang out with down there. But I'm excited about watching that game. I think that in the Clemson game interests me more than the SMU the SMU game.
I just hope the old Buckeye fans are nice to you down there in Pleasant. Don't try to start anything. You never know how they are, especially if y'all get up on them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, no doubt. I think they're going to really be surprised at how many Tennessee fans really traveled. And a lot of the. I mean, as you saw, Ohio State's athletic director came out and said, "Hey, please buy your tickets.
Yeah,
please buy your tickets because Tennessee, we've got rabid fans." And we are rabid fans. So everybody, we're going to be loud and be in there. It's going to be fun. I do hope they're respectful, especially when we get up. But if we get up, it's going to hush them up anyway. I'm hoping to have a replay of LSU in 2022 when all you could hear in the stadium at the end of it was us singing Rocky Top. We smacked them then, yeah.
I'll sing a little Rocky Top this weekend. I don't care. Hey, a little SEC.
Hey, if you do it, you got to record it and send it to me. I didn't ever think I'd see you do that.
There you go. Well, I'll pull for him this weekend. I'll be SEC. Hey, another one I wanted to ask Derek Dawg about it. What do you think about these games being on TNT and Max? I mean, what is this?
Weird.
College NCAA playoffs? Like, think about if you're a good old boy and you don't have cable or you rabbit ears and you're used to ESPN or even the Disney. Anyway, I just think it's weird. TNT and Max, but I guess
man, that's like everything else. It's gonna. I heard the other day where ESPN's eventually gonna move to a subscription model where you got to pay X like Prime Baseball. You got to pay X amount per year, to have ESPN. So it's crazy the way all this stuff's getting, man. It's just too expensive. It's sad because, like you said, a lot of people don't have the cable and the access to it and can't watch something that's important. So I don't like it the way that is at all.
Right. I know you were like me, man. I really missed CBS this year, especially the theme song. 3:30 games. It was weird.
It was horrible. I mean, the intro to ABC is like what they did in the late 80s when SEC was on ABC. It's what it reminded me of. I did see a couple of CBS games. I cut it on, it came on just to hear the dun, 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 and then it would be a garbage game that was on. I was like, man, that's horrible, But it is what it is. But I think, I think you're still going to have a lot of people watching that game Saturday night, though.
Yeah. And I bet you they can't say anything, but Gary and Brad Nessler, man, miss the SEC games. They're getting all these Purdue and Nebraska or whatever they are, crappy games. They can't say anything. They're missing it. Because they used to get all the great games.
They did the Michigan and Ohio State game, right? That wasn't the ESPN. No, that was
Fox. I think that was
right. Yeah. It was
man, what's the guy on Fox? I've been watching this podcast. Joel Klatt and the other guy.
Yeah, Joel Klatt,
Johnson or something. Yeah. Yeah, and then as a Georgia fan, real quick, I'm kind of hoping. I'm pulling for Indiana because it'll be a better matchup, but I got a feeling it's going to be Notre Dame. But I think they got a real good defense, and the Leonard kid is mobile, so that's going to give us problems. And then it's looking like Gunnar Stockton. They're still quiet, but I think he's going to start. So going to have a backup quarterback starting. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't think that's that bad. I mean, the way he played, I think he, I know you're not sure about him yet, but watching him play in the SEC championship game, he plays with a lot of toughness, especially when he got hit in the head. It showed the camera shot showed what he looked like when he was falling to the ground. His helmet was knocked off, and his eyes are rolled back in his head. It was.
I don't know how he held on to that ball, man. That was crazy. He had some.
I don't know how he came back in the game. I mean, he got rocked. So the toughness of it. If your team sees your quarterback doing that and playing with that, I think it raises everybody's kind of game a little bit.
Oh yeah. So we'll see. I'm just glad we're getting rest and get another 10 days or so.
Yeah.
More than that. So they're getting healthy from what I've been hearing. I just hope there's no shockers in the portal out of nowhere, like a starting wide receiver bounces, because our wide receivers are bad enough. So we don't need that.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, want to touch on a little Georgia news. So nothing much going on, just healing up. But we did have some movement in the transfer portal. No big names. I think Jamal Jarrett, D lineman, is about the only one that's actually played some snaps. We did use Troy Bowles, I think, the linebacker. He was a ex-4 or 5-star former. He's actually his dad's the coach for is it Trey Bowles? No, Bowles for Tampa Bay Bucks. But we just got a deep linebacker room, but no big surprises yet. Justin Rhett, I think he's a secondary guy that didn't play. So just guys that aren't going to play. But Georgia's flirting around with some wideouts. That's the major focus, is get some wideouts in the portal. Just hope we don't get any more guys that go to jail for smacking around baby mamas or whatever. But that's going to be a focus. Maybe get another somebody in the secondary. But we'll see. Georgia's kind of quiet until the Notre Dame or Indiana game. So we'll see. Also, one last thing I wanted to – oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said hopefully we have a game to talk about that time too. So hopefully we as well.
So you guys will get the winner. I haven't looked. Who would you guys get the winner of?
No, we'll play Oregon in the Rose Bowl.
Ooh, okay. That'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. Oregon plays different than they did. I mean, they play different under Lanning. They're tougher. They're not like they used to be. So I think it'd be a hard matchup. But we could avenge the 2001 Rohan Davey Matt Mock debacle, where we were basically on the way to Pasadena playing the national championship, and we knocked Rohan Davey out, and everybody was buying roses and stuff. Then Matt Mock came in and ran all over the place.
Wow, that's right, old school right there.
Yeah,
and then real quick, want to get your thoughts on the Heisman Trophy. Travis Hunter wins it. Actually, they said one of the closest ever with the Gente guy from Boise State, which I favored a whole lot. I know he played against lesser competition, but when you get over almost 2,500 yards and was it 30-something touchdowns or whatever it was? Anyway, what was your thoughts? Did you agree with Travis Hunter?
So, one thing, I like Travis Hunter, but I think that Ashton Genty or whatever should have got it because he didn't play a lot of fourth quarters in games.
Right.
And they had, Travis Hunter was in there in fourth quarter. They were throwing toss-ups to him in the end zone trying to give him a touchdown, which I get, but at the same time – but I found out that he had taken his NIL money, this week it came out sometime. He had taken his NIL money, didn't even take it, he gave it to his teammates.
Huh?
Yeah, he was getting paid off endorsements and stuff, not the NIL money actually. So he was still getting money, but it says a lot about him. And I listened to his post-award talk and got a new respect for the guy. I think he's a good kid, and I'm excited to see him in the NFL, man.
Yeah. Do you think he'll play? I've been asking everybody. Think he'll play a DB or wideout in the league, NFL?
DB.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Hopefully, goes to a decent team where he can make it. I mean, I think I heard the other day looking like Patriots third. Might look at him. Hopefully, I just hope he ends up on a good team.
Yeah. Same. I'm the same way with it too. So we'll see.
All right, hey, appreciate you coming on, Tennessee Tony. Good luck to your Vols this weekend. How do we follow you on social media? I know you post all kind of Tennessee content. How do we follow you on that?
Mine is Tone_Loke, LOC_23, Michael Jordan. Anybody knows who Tone Loke was back in the day? Wild Thing.
There you go. Nice.
TONE_LOC_ and then 23. So I do post a lot of sports stuff and so forth. So anybody follow me who wants to.
Yeah, man, give him a follow on Instagram. Tell him go Vols, and good luck, man. That's awesome. You're going to the game. Hope it's safe travels and it's a good trip for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Give you a go Vols and a go Dogs, and if everybody's still around, make sure to like, subscribe, share the Dawg House Podcast, and we'll be excited about next week previewing. It's going to be Indiana or Notre Dame. Hope for Indiana, but probably Notre Dame. We'll see.
Thanks, absolutely, man. Yeah, appreciate having me on. Have a good one.